Everybody, is Key Time coming back with another one to talk about my Week 13 reactions from the NFL season. The first game was the Seahawks and the Cowboys, and I didn't expect the Seahawks to have the offensive output that they did, but Cowboys defense showed out and came and delivered when they had to deliver. Three fourth downs, they stopped the Seattle Seahawks. And Deron Bland, he got another pick. So Cowboys 9-3 on their way to the playoffs already. Now as far as the Seattle Seahawks, they are 6-6. Their season is hanging by a thread. That's all I have for that game. The next game I want to talk about is the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. Now this game was a the typical division game because you got the Colts and you got the Titans not really playing up to high standards this year, but the Colts came in there with Gardner Minshew and they were able to get a win. So the Indianapolis Colts, they are currently the 7th seed. Can they hold on to the 7th seed? It remains to be seen. The next game I want to talk about is the LA Chargers and New England Patriots. Brandon Staley, you are on your way out of there. And the Chargers defense is still at the bottom of the NFL. Chargers, they're not making the playoffs. The Patriots, what can I say about them? Utter, complete clown show. Their offense is utterly ridiculous. They didn't have nothing to show for it. So the Patriots, Bill Belichick, you may be out of there too. So the next game I want to talk about is the Detroit Lions and New Orleans Saints. Detroit Lions, you won this game, but the defense looked terrible. Even you are up 21 in the first quarter, you did win this game, but it was not supposed to be that close. So, Detroit Lions, you got out of New Orleans with a win, but you need to work on your defense. And for the New Orleans Saints, 5-7, you still have a chance at making the playoffs. I don't think you're going to make the playoffs, but you still got a chance. The next game I want to talk about is the Atlanta Falcons and New York Jets. Atlanta Falcons did just enough to win this game because look at who they were playing. They were playing the New York Jets, and New York Jets don't have an offense, but they have a good defense. That's all I got for that game. The next game I want to talk about is the Arizona Cardinals and Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers offense is hard to watch, America, because their third down offense is near the bottom of the league. To be exact, they are 29th in the league in third down offensive efficiency. Plus, Kenny Pickett, he is up and down. He could have 250 passing yards one game and barely crack 100 passing yards the next game. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't think it's in their best interest to make the playoffs this year because you don't have the type of offense that can withstand a team going up by 7 or 10 or 14 and trying to come back. You don't have the type of offense that could generate yards and points quickly like that. And as far as the Cardinals, congratulations to the Cardinals, one of the worst teams in the NFL. They are just getting ready for the 2024 NFL draft. So, good job for the Cardinals on on pitching an upset. The next game I want to talk about is the Miami Dolphins and the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders, they're 4-9, so we know that they're out of the playoff. But I heard something coming from the ownership office. Josh Harris and Magic Johnson. It will be a complete team overhaul this offseason. Every position and every coach, assistant coach will be evaluated this offseason, and that is coming out of the Washington Commanders ownership office. Now, as far as the Miami Dolphins, they are the number one team in the AFC currently. They currently have the number one seed. So, are they going to hold on to it? It remains to be seen. But what I think, Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill, if those two keep doing what they're doing, which they are going to keep doing what they're doing, it's just a matter of stopping Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa. I don't think anybody can stop the Miami Dolphins. I just don't. The next game I want to talk about is the Denver Broncos and Houston Texans. Denver Broncos, you blew this game. You had a chance to win it at the end, and the last play before that interception, the offensive guys was lined up, but the referee didn't call it. For some strange reason, the referee didn't call it. Now, Russell Wilson, he had one of those moments where he took the game into his own hands, tried to go win it with a passing touchdown, and ended up throwing an interception. So for the Broncos, they need to go back to doing what they was doing during the winning streak, and hopefully they can get into the playoffs that way. As far as the Houston Texans, I had them as my dark horse team coming into the season 7-5, and with the Jaguars losing last night, which I'm going to get into that later on in the video, the Texans, they may have a chance at winning the division all of a sudden. The next game I want to talk about is the Carolina Panthers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not going to get into this game too much. Mike Evans had a good game. Baker Mayfield, he didn't throw any interceptions, but the running game for the Buccaneers, it needs to improve. It needs to improve. With the Carolina Panthers, they're the worst team in the NFL, haven't won a single road game all season. They are just getting ready for the 2024 NFL draft, and they are just trying to get the team better, make the team better. But the Chicago Bears own the Panthers' first-round draft pick for 2024 in April's draft. So we'll see how that unfolds. The next game I want to talk about is the Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Rams. Cleveland Browns, I believe that you may be out of the playoffs because Deshaun Watson is out. Now, P.J. Walker, he may be in and out. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he may be in and out. And all of a sudden now, I see Joe Flacco. I mean, Joe Flacco, he okay. He a decent quarterback, but you may make the playoffs with Joe Flacco, and you might not. If I had to bet some money on it, I say that you're not. So you're not going. Cleveland, you had a good season. I know that you are 7-5, but I just don't think Joe Flacco is going to lead the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs, but it remains to be seen. The next game I want to talk about, and this was probably the biggest game of the week, the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. The San Francisco 49ers are way better than are way better than the Philadelphia Eagles because they started off the game slow in the first quarter. Then Philadelphia was up 6-0. And then after that, 49ers went on a scoring rampage, scoring 6 touchdowns. And why that happened is because that the Philadelphia Eagles defense gives up the third most yards in the NFL. The defense is not always top notch. Their third down defense in this game was putrid, terrible, and Brock Purdy was so efficient. He had a quarterback rating of 148.8 on a scale of 153. He was almost at a perfect passer rating. So the 49ers, they are a better team. Eagles, you're coming to Dallas this coming weekend. And my team, the Dallas Cowboys, we have a chance to exceed expectations and win this game and take over the top spot in our division. I am looking forward to that game. I'm going to keep my prediction for the next video. That's all I have for that game. The next game I have, Sunday Night Football, Packers and Chiefs. Jordan Love, I like what he's doing. Christian Watson, I like what he's doing. The Green Bay Packers, they are a dark horse team to make the playoffs now at 6-6. They have to win out and hope for some help. Now, as far as Kansas City side of things, they 8-4. Patrick Mahomes has never had to play a playoff game outside of Kansas City before. He's going to have to this season. Well, in the playoffs, he's going to have to go on the road and see if he can win in the road. Because even though that they are a game back of the top spot, I just don't think that with the Kansas City offense that they have, I just don't think that they will be able to get that number one spot. Now maybe it may be something that the Chiefs are not showing us, but they might show us later on this month before the playoffs start. But as of right now, I just don't see them going on the road and winning a playoff game. So that's all I have for Sunday Night Football. The last game I want to talk about is Monday Night Football. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they almost had this game won. If it wasn't for Trevor Lawrence getting injured, they would have won this game. But the defense couldn't come up with timely stops when it needed to. The Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Josh Browning had 353 passing yards just by his arm alone. And the Jaguars defense almost gave up 500 yards of total offense, which is bad on both cases. But I look at it, Cincinnati, they needed this game more than the Jaguars needed it. Because let's just say, if the Cincinnati Bengals had lost that game last night, you 5-7, you have a gauntlet schedule to end the season, and you will not be making the playoffs. So they are 6-6. Bengals still in the thick of it. You still can make it. As far as the Jaguars, the main focus for the Jaguars right now is making sure that Trevor Lawrence is okay. Anytime somebody experiences an injury on the field like that, I just take a moment to think about what is that player feeling, because the injury, it looked gruesome. It's only an ankle injury. It looked way worse than that when I first seen it. But Trevor Lawrence, he's going to undergo MRIs today, and we will see if he's able to play against the Browns. Now, preferably, I would rest him against the Browns and give him a week of rest, and then have him play against the Baltimore Ravens. So, prayers up for Trevor Lawrence. That was a gruesome injury. But from what I'm hearing right now as I speak, I'm hearing that the team is very optimistic, and Trevor Lawrence, he could come back against Baltimore and play against Baltimore. So that's very optimistic after what I seen last night. So prayers up for Trevor Lawrence, and just prayers up for all NFL players to not have any more injuries, because we've had quite a few stars go down with injuries this season. So hopefully nobody else will experience an injury that gruesome this season. And with that, those are my reactions for week 13 of the NFL season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember, the key is always on time.